Time for Money Tuesday. You know, many of you might look forward to retirement, but not only do we need to be financially prepared and ready, we need to be mentally prepared as well. Joining us to talk more about that is Marshall Clay with the Welsh Group. Some pointers for both of those. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you.
I know you got a lot to cover here. We might not be able to get through all of them, but I want to first talk about, you know, the planning for it. Mentally, emotionally, you know, because it is a process.
Yeah, so the thing I would like to get across to our viewers is this is very common. This is not unusual that when you transition from working for 40, 45 years into retirement, trying to overcome some of those, you know, trying to redefine your purpose a little bit is what I like to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's, I think we realize very quickly that a job is more than just income. It's about, you know, you're building relationships with coworkers, with clients, with customers. Mm-hmm. You have this sense of community, this sense of involvement that you lose once you go into retirement. So sort of replacing that purpose is very, very important. And I tell people, look, you've got to start planning early. You've got to think through these issues before you pull the trigger and say, I'm going to retire. And I tell people, look, write down those non-financial goals, talk to family members, talk to friends who are maybe already in retirement, and ask them how they're feeling their day, right? I mean, we talk a lot about the money aspect of retirement. Certainly that's important, but there is a psychological component because this is all about getting the most out of life, and I can't stress that.
Some people handle the transition fine. You know, playing golf and fishing every day is fine for them. Others struggle with it. I've met people who are like that. Thankfully, I'm decades away from retirement. Yep. But there is that financial component as well. I think the biggest fear among people is, do I have enough money to make it in retirement, especially if I were to have a health issue or something like that? How do we plan for that? Right.
So imagine, you know, you've worked for 40, 45 years. You haven't really had to rely on your portfolio at all. You've had that earned income coming in. So it's nice. You're working, you got that earned income, and this portfolio is some kind of distant thing that you're planning for.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, a light switch turns off or turns on, and all of a sudden, the portfolio is the only thing that you have, right?
Okay.
So it's that fear of, do I have enough, relying exclusively on your portfolio that really has people that have more money than they'll ever need. It even makes them a little uncomfortable.
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
And so I'm talking to people and they're like, I don't know, you never know, things could go bad. I'm like, Mr. So-and-so, you have more money than you'll ever need. And so I think it's this heightened awareness of market risk. I think people are just inherently skeptical or fearful of capital markets. They go up, they go down. We've had a rough year in 2022. So when you're entering retirement, that volatility can sort of get to people sometimes. So I tell people, look, no plan is perfect, right? You're going to have to develop a plan that's comfortable for you, one that you understand. And I tell people to pre-position the portfolio before you get to retirement. So have the retiree portfolio in place so you can see how it operates while you're still working, right? And so you can kind of build in those expectations of what the portfolio is going to do for you. And then it'll make it a little bit more comfortable.
Kind of give you a picture of what it's going to look like.
Yeah, and just remember those goals that when you get to retirement, it's not about keeping up with indexes. It's not about matching the returns of the NASDAQ or Bitcoin. Yeah. It's really about never running out of money and maintaining a lifestyle and stay ahead of
Marshall Clay, we do appreciate it. You know what would help in retirement?
What's that?
Winning $1 billion.
That would